So sometimes you get a request from an artist to do a shot that you've never done before, and you just have to figure out how to do it because it's not always on YouTube. Well, lucky for you, this one is. Now that I'm making it. Oh wait, I forgot to. Yeah, it was supposed to be really cool, and I was gonna like do the thing I was trying to do while I was talking, but yeah, I guess I forgot to do it because I was trying to remember what to say. Dang it. But it looks like it's your lucky day because today I'm showing you how to do this thing. And it's pretty simple, surprisingly. I'm not sure how I pulled it off. Okay, so what you just saw was me trying this out for the very first time before I knew it was even possible, really. So here's the actual effect we ended up getting. It's not perfect. I would have liked to have more bananas. It's funny, when the artist came to me, I was like, where's all the bananas? He's like, oh, don't worry, we got a lot of bananas. I'm like, this isn't enough bananas. They had like maybe 5 packs of bananas, which seems like a lot, but I know how much we need. We got to cover the entire ground with bananas. This isn't enough. But it's not like we have a choice at this point. We got what we got and we're going to use it. But then they start eating the bananas we have. So we have even less bananas by the time we get started. So this effect is definitely going to work best for you if you already have a C-stand, a Ronin. Otherwise, it's kind of ridiculously expensive. Or if it's something that you definitely need, you can rent these things and get the effect. And it's really simple too. Really, all you have to do is put the Ronin onto the C-stand. I'm gonna show you how to do that. And I'm also gonna show you a cheaper option if you don't happen to have these things lying around. Like maybe you have a drone, you can do a drone. I actually initially thought that you would have to put the Ronin in flashlight mode and hang it upside down like this. But then once you get it into this mode and you try to rotate it, you can't do it. So I kind of started freaking out, like, how am I gonna do this effect? And I'm like, I guess it's not gonna work. But all you have to do is keep it in the standard mode, tilt it up all the way, and then boom, this is how you hang it. Because now you can turn it and get that 360. And you actually notice that you can't quite keep the axis perfect. It tilts a little bit when I'm doing this because I'm not perfectly going left and right. I'm hitting the up and down a little bit. So when I do this effect, I like to go into the Ronin app, turn off the tilt, so I control it from my phone as well. And you just, all right, so let's hang this thing up, show you how to do it. Let's put this down. So I guess first step would be set up your camera on the gimbal. Then you want to get your C-stand ready. And you definitely want to make sure you're right side of the knuckle, you know, C-stand 101, because you're putting something heavy on here. When I did this effect, I was pretty lucky because I was on set of the movie and we had some heavy duty C-stands. I have a cheap C-stand here. I guess we're gonna find out today if it works, but if you can get a heavier duty one, if you can rent one, it'll be a lot stronger, especially since you have to give yourself some space on the arm here to clear this front leg. Actually, when I shot it, I put a banana on that peg. So if you can hide it in your set, if it makes sense, maybe put some kind of sheet or something on there and put a sheet on the ground with some kind of pattern if that's the shot you're going for. That's an easy way to hide the leg. Also, a black leg is gonna help more than this shiny chrome one, so that's something to think about. Okay, so we have our C-stand. We need the heaviest sandbags you got. You can get like a 15-pounder because you're putting a person under here and it's kind of heavy. And safety first with this stuff because Ronin's expensive, your camera's probably expensive. You don't want that falling. And if there's a person under it, you really don't want it falling because then you got a whole other source of problems. But now how do you get the Ronin onto the C-stand? Right, we know how to flip it upside down. We know what mode we're putting it in. How do you get it onto the C-stand? You need one of these guys, a cardellini clamp. So yeah, this is gonna clamp down onto your Ronin and it's gonna hold it in place. I actually did this wrong, you need this side. You gotta do it as far out as you can, but you're also gonna be keeping in mind safety. All right, so your clamps gotta go in here. Do it towards camera so you can see. And we're gonna put our Ronin inside here. Before we put it on, we have to flip our camera. So remember, point it up and then get it upside down. Maybe go upside down first and then
point it down would probably be better way to do it. Okay, so I like to attach it from the handle part because it's got extra grip. This isn't gonna scratch it because the cardellini clamp also has grip. And also the higher up you go on here, the less high you have to put your C-stand, so it's gonna be more secure. Lots of things to think about when you're doing this. Get it as tight as you can because you don't want this falling, especially if you're doing it over cement like I'm doing right now. Okay. So you see the C-stand gave a little bit. That's because this C-stand's not the greatest, but also that's why you make sure you do the right side rule. I gotta tweak this a little bit because it's not perfect. So now we have an imaginary subject underneath, and we turn our camera 360 degrees. All controlled with your phone, how crazy is that? So you open up your Ronin app, you hit create, virtual joystick in the top corner here, top left corner. And then we have our speed of everything. We can turn off roll and tilt, because when I first did this, I accidentally kept tilting. After I had the camera set where I wanted, I tilted and messed the whole thing up. So if you turn off the tilt after you get the angle of straight down, then you can pan without worrying about it shifting. Because if it shifts, if it's not perfectly straight down, your angle is gonna be completely messed up, and you'll see that from when I was testing it out. And of course, you can change the speed. That's gonna be up here, your pan speed. We're at 50. You can make it 20, and it's gonna go a lot slower. So depending on what you're doing, I kept it pretty quick because it was a music video and it's gonna be cutting quick, so I wanted to show the camera turning. And you can also do like cool sliding effects. So the higher you go on this thing too, you're gonna wanna keep somebody on here. I don't recommend doing this whole setup by yourself like I'm doing right now if you don't have the proper sandbag weight and all that stuff. And if you have someone underneath it, you know, you kind of want to be able to jump in and grab it in case anything goes wrong. Wind just picked up there. I'm getting nervous, but it's definitely secure. So the most popular video you've seen that's done this effect would probably be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but I'm pretty sure they did it with like this chair was on the ground and they just spun the chair around. So that's a cheap way you can do it with just an overhead setup. I have a video on stands that have the overhead setup for like 60 bucks. That would be the cheapest way to do this and you know, get the guy to spin like that. But if you want to go like the official crazy route, you can set up your Ronin. So like this is great if you already have this stuff because it's kind of cheap, because otherwise to do this effect, you would need a crane. And that's super expensive, even just to rent it. Like, I don't know where you are at with your jobs, but I'm not getting any jobs where I can afford anything like that. If it's not in the budget, you gotta do stuff like this. Because if you have this stuff, really the only thing you need, the only thing I didn't have was the cardellini clamp, and now I bought it, and that's like 40 bucks, so that's no big deal. And you can always rent that as well. And another option you can do is having a drone. This method only works really for like 50 millimeter on a full frame camera. So like pretty close up shot, because you're gonna be able to see the leg of the C-stand unless you like strong arm it or menace arm it out. And then you're looking at it like another crazy setup there. But the close up, it works. If you're gonna get that wide, I suggest doing the drone. You just gotta fly the drone above you, spin it around. And it's gonna cause a lot of wind. Also, trying to get that pan correct, you can see it's all over the place. The thing blew my hat off. So yeah, the drone, not nearly as precise as hanging your Ronin on the stand. It's definitely gonna be easier if you're filming someone and not filming yourself. I can't even look at the monitor when I'm trying to get my face in the shot, so I wouldn't count the drone out. It's gonna have its use for sure. But the Ronin also has its use, and it's just gonna give you a different look. Oh, and as the sun beams down on me, I'm remembering you have to be mindful of where the sun is at, because you're gonna get crazy shadows if it's directly above your head. So like 12, 1 o'clock, you probably can't do it. If you're doing it in the sun, that is. I mean, you can do this shot inside. You can do it in the shade. So, you know, just things to think about. You don't want to get on set and be like, oh crap, this isn't gonna work. The sun, look at the shadow. Damn it, I can see the camera. I think that is everything I needed to say. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me anything in the comments below if you need any help with anything at all. And I guess, oh wait, I never did my intro. It's yet another film channel here. These usually get stuck, so I'm surprised that didn't happen. If it does get stuck, hit it with a screwdriver or a hammer, anything you have. Yeah. I feel like I'm holding up like a fish I just caught.